This is the severe weather alert from WMBD Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates.
Good afternoon. Apologize for the interruption, but we do have our first tornado warning of the evening. A tornado warning now in effect for LaSalle County until 5:15 p.m. this evening. It does include LaSalle, Ottawa, Peru, and South Ottawa. This storm is now showing some very strong rotation. So Utica, it'll be there. It's there now, should be seeking shelter. Ottawa, 445. Fall River, it'll be there at 450. Marseilles, 454. And Manila, another storm beginning to pick up rotation. So we may get a new tornado warning issued out of the storm coming out. There it is, right on cue.
Yep.
Northern Putnam County, getting some. So there's the rotation. I'm going to jump back on screen here, and we'll kind of walk through exactly what is going on here with this storm. This is what we've been kind of talking about over the last couple of days, which red is moving away and green is moving towards the radar site. This particular radar site is back in Iowa, out near the Quad Cities. So this is where we're getting that rotation. Now the scan is just beginning to update, so this is probably now officially just east of I-39 is where that tornado would now be on the ground, if it is indeed still there. But a tornado warning in effect until 5:15 p.m. And you can see the latest scan, still getting some very strong winds coming out of this storm. Very strong winds wrapping back into it. Your very large hail is going to be right on the northern side of this. LaSalle likely getting hit with some very strong winds and hail at the current moment. North of that, your hail is mainly the primary risk there. But again, tornado has been spotted just south of Interstate 80 and south of Highway 6, and getting some very impressive rotation here just east of I-39. So that is what we have for you. And until I get a report that that tornado is lifted, we're going to stay with you. And so the storm is spiking over 50,000 feet. There's a lot of hail up there, especially up around 50,000 feet. And as I stop that here, this storm, there's a lot of large ice now piling up the top of the storm. Eventually that is going to be coming down. So that's another concern as this storm is rotating. We could be dealing with some large hail being thrown out in front of this system. Areas like Ottawa, you'll want to be seeking shelter. Get into your basement, lowest floor of your house, interior room or closet, and away from windows. Even if the tornado doesn't come towards you, this hail will break windows, as it could easily be wind driven with winds blowing at 60 to 70 miles per hour. And you can see as the later scans come in, that hail core is now getting a little lower to the ground. So very large hail, if it's not already falling, larger hail is coming. So keep that in mind if you are in portions of LaSalle County. More of a concern, again, right along interstate or just south of Interstate 80 is where we have that tornado warning. So we will jump right back into it.
Yeah, we still don't have any more updates than what we had a couple minutes ago, so we're just kind of going over everything.
Yeah, we want to stay, just make sure you folks are safe, and I'll zoom in here if you don't mind, and let's see if we can get down. So Utica, this is right on top of you. Oglesby, this storm is right in your area. If you could, Lauren, make sure this is posted to our social pages as well, if you could,
Sure thing,
for a second. Utica, the storm is just now south of you. The rotation is immediately to your south. Oglesby probably, if there was a tornado on the ground, probably took a hit from this storm. And allow me to see if we can find what we like to call a debris ball, a part of lower reflectivity or higher reflectivity where we get debris being wafted into the air. Now, I am not seeing that on this scan, but keep in mind this radar site is several miles away. So I'm not getting that confirmation there, though we still have reports that a tornado was spotted. So a tornado warning for LaSalle County, including Ottawa, Peru, and South Ottawa until 5:15 p.m. Storm is moving east at 45 miles per hour, so your tornado is now beginning to look like it may have jogged a little bit further north. Ottawa, 4:48 p.m. Fall River, 4:53. Marseilles, 4:57, and Manillas around 5 o'clock. That is the latest timing of this storm as it moves east at approximately 45. Let me see if I have an update on the timing here of the speed of the storm. National Weather Service is calling for ping pong ball size hail with this, and weather spotters confirmed a tornado. That was the last update, and that was 8 minutes ago. So you are advised to be seeking shelter. Again, storm spotters have confirmed a tornado, and we are getting a nice looking donut showing up here on radar. So a very strong rotation here, folks. Tornado could still easily be on the ground, even though we have not had any additional
No.
reports of that.
Yeah, we haven't had any reports in the last new updates within the last 5 minutes or so. So no word yet if that's still technically on the ground or not. But we're seeing from radar it most likely still is, right, Chris?
Yeah, very impressive rotation, and it is only getting stronger. Now the radar is showing up a little bit higher up into the storm here, so we're going up, about 6,000 to 10,000 feet here. But this is the mesocyclone. If you were to look up at the base of this storm, you would see the entire base rotating, and that base could be stretching about a mile wide. So the tornado warning has just been adjusted a little bit. Let me see what that latest.
Yeah, Chris, the National Weather Service office out of Chicago is now continuing the tornado warning for LaSalle County until 5:15 p.m. They've observed a tornado and 1.75, so an inch and 3/4 size hail. It's getting pretty close to very large hail. Now they also issue a severe thunderstorm warning for, these areas are just north of us, Lee and Ogle counties. Those are just north of our area, but that tornado warning for LaSalle County is continuing until 5:15 this evening.
All right, thank you, Lauren. So yeah, tornado warning. We have had confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground. It could still be there. We have been seeing some impressive scans on the radar, and it is looking like that rotation is just getting stronger. If you are in Ottawa, you need to be seeking shelter now. This storm is barreling towards your location. It looks like it might be taking more of a northeasterly turn as opposed to easterly. So please, if you're in the Ottawa area, seek shelter immediately as this storm begins to head your direction, and we'll kind of see how this thing is played out. You're getting that well-defined hook shape here on the radar as it begins to rotate back around, so good indication that we're getting some very strong rotation there.
All right, so now we have a new tornado warning for Bureau and Putnam counties until 5:15 this evening. It's radar indicated, so a spotter has not actually seen a tornado, but the radar is indicating rotation that suggests there could be a tornado on the ground. Bureau and Putnam counties until 5:15 p.m. Also, 1.75 inch hail with that. So we're going to head over to Bureau and Putnam counties for that warning now.
So there is that tornado warning. This is Bradford, just north of Bradford appears to be where that rotation would be occurring. Let's pull up our velocity scan. So Bradford, while you are not immediately in this warning because your county, we'll see what happens here, but the rotation is beginning to tighten up just north of you. So folks in Bradford, just north of you, the rotation is starting to tighten up. It's an early sign that we could be seeing some rotation, which is why the National Weather Service has issued a warning a little downstream. So southern Bureau County could be impacted as this storm kind of comes barreling eastward. So a new tornado warning now until 5:15 p.m., as Lauren mentioned, for southern Bureau County and far western portions of Putnam County. The cities of Bureau Junction, Indiantown, Senatchewan, and Tiskilwa. I apologize if you live there. That is a new one to me. Please seek shelter immediately. Get down to the lowest floor of your apartment, of your house if you can, an interior room or closet. It looks like we now have additional severe thunderstorm warning issued.
Yes, just issued severe thunderstorm warning for Marshall, Peoria, and Stark counties until 5:45 p.m. with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and an 1.25 inch size hail. Again, that's from Marshall, Peoria, and Stark counties. Severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45 this evening.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Here's that storm. If I can try to get the, our thing wants to kind of keep it highlighted on the tornado warning, so I'm going to have to deactivate that for 1 second so we can get that severe thunderstorm warning up. And Lauren, if you could please update these to the web, that would be great as well.
Yes, I'm on it.
And we have not much rotation with this cell, but it's mainly a large hail threat. So a severe thunderstorm warning, which does not include the city of Peoria, but does include Chillicothe and northern Peoria counties. Chillicothe, Henry, Radnor, and Toulon, you are all within that warning. Large hail associated with this storm as it begins to roll its way to the, what's the motion on this, east at 55 miles per hour. And that's another problem that we're having with these storms is they are moving fast. 50 to 60 miles per hour, it is going, you're not going to have much time to react in these situations. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail expected with that storm.
Yeah, half-dollar size hail can easily damage your vehicles. Wind can damage your roof, the sidings of your house, trees. Again, this is for Lakin, Chillicothe, Henry to Princeville, Rome, Wyoming, Dunlap, Toulon, Brimfield, Sparlin, West Jersey, Laura, Elmore. Let's see, Hopewell, Duncan, Marshall Putnam County Fairgrounds, and the Marshall County Airport, Monica. You are all impacted. This is also includes interstate mile markers 69 and 75 on I-74.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Let's go ahead and relook at and highlight this tornado warning that is ongoing for LaSalle County. This one in effect now until 5:30 p.m. It does include Ottawa. The rotation appears to, it's hard to say because it's now getting into the part of the radar where it starts to get distorted a little bit, and sadly the radar site in Chicago is down for the time being. So we're not going to get a good sample of the storm, but it is still showing signs of rotation just now south of Ottawa. So if you are south of Ottawa or even in Ottawa, you need to be seeking shelter immediately as the storm moves in your direction at 45 miles per hour. On the back side of this, you're getting some very, very large hail. Severe thunderstorm warnings also continue for parts of Bureau and Putnam County, and we do have that other tornado warning back to the west. Now in effect for southern Bureau County. Let me see if I can get that back on the radar. It looks like I'm going to have to drag it up manually. That tornado warning is in effect until 5:15 p.m. Bureau Junction, Indiantown, Senatchewan, and Tuscaloosa are all included within that. And if we can zoom in here, it is kind of between Bradford and Bureau Junction is where we're getting the rotation. And I will highlight that area of rotation for you. It is far western portions of the southernmost part of Bureau County, kind of the little panhandle there, if I can call it that, as it begins to move in towards Putnam County. So tornado warning in effect until 5:15 p.m. for far southern portions of Bureau County. We are seeing some rotation there, though it is not very fast at the time being. Meanwhile, we're still keeping an eye on another storm. Here's another storm beginning to pick up rotation. So we may get a new tornado warning issued out of the storm coming out. There it is, right on cue.
Yep.
Northern Putnam County getting some very strong rotation now with this storm. Hennepin need to be seeking shelter immediately as this storm comes barreling is in your area. Let me get the speed for you and I will highlight the areas that are of concern. So quarter-sized hail and tornado. This is a radar indicated tornado, so no confirmation of a tornado on the ground. The severe storm is moving east at 30 miles per hour. So that's what we have until 5:15 p.m. The storm could produce damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. It will occur if a tornado does indeed touch down.
Yeah, also golf ball size hail possible with this storm. Golf ball size hail, that's going to do some pretty serious damage if there actually is a tornado with this storm. Yes, radar definitely hints at that with the rotation, but you need to look out for flying debris. That's going to be very dangerous if you're caught in the path of that. You need to seek shelter right now. Mobile homes definitely going to be damaged, siding to your roofs, your windows, your vehicles. Damage is very likely with this storm. And again, this is moving off to, let's see, it was located over Bradford, 13 miles east of Kewaunee. It's moving east at 40 miles per hour. Possible tornado with the storm, along with golf ball size hail.
All right, thank you. Here's the, we're going to go ahead and highlight each storm individually for you. So if you bear with me while I get these graphics set up, I would be happy to kind of knock out each warning one by one. Again, we now have 3 tornado warnings in effect for portions of central Illinois, all mainly just south of Interstate 80, and now moving towards 180 in southern Bureau County, and a couple of a confirmed tornado in LaSalle County earlier this evening. And then we have a severe thunderstorm warning, this one in effect for northern portions of Peoria County. It includes Chillicothe, Henry, Radnor, and Toulon. So let me go through. We'll knock out each of these one by one.
I'm going to be posting these to the Facebook and Twitter
Yep.
pages, so you can follow us there also if you're unable to keep watching us. We are on Facebook and Twitter as well.
And we've been trying to live stream this on our website, ciproud.com, so please head there, and you can also follow us as we do these severe weather cut-ins there as you begin to seek shelter. So rotation now right over Ottawa. Ottawa needs to be downstairs in their basement seeking shelter. This storm is appearing to be moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Let's take a trip back to the west here. This is the newly issued tornado warning until 5:15 p.m. Granville, Mark, and Standard included within that. And again, seeing a nice little donut shape here of some healthy rotation. And we're starting to see that more of a textbook hook out of the storm that is just now pushing in through southern Bureau County. That tornado warning in effect until 5:15 p.m. Bureau Junction, Indiantown, Senatchewan, and Tuscaloosa included within that warning, and they just kind of reissued that for you. That's in effect until 5:15 p.m. For us here in Peoria County, this is a storm we're keeping an eye on, and we're starting to get some rotation with this storm, and this storm has my attention. Princeville, you are getting some very large hail likely moving into your area, or if not a torrential downpour with some very gusty winds. All right, the tornadic threat, if there's going to eventually be one, is going to be a little closer to I-74. We need to keep a close eye on this, and I'm going to zoom out and explain why here in a second. Storms that are all by itself on the southern edge of clusters like this have nothing blocking it. All right, so right now this storm that is moving through northern Peoria County, there is nothing ahead of it here that is turning over the atmosphere. All right, so it has all this instability to work with. So this storm could strengthen, maybe turn more to the right, and that's when we can start seeing that rotation tightening up. But right now it's mainly a hail threat. We had some very large hail in Knox County out of this cell. All right, so that is what we have for you as far as all those warnings go. And we'll go back through and we will kind of take a look at how all these storms are rotating now as I bring in our couplet. There's a new tornado warning. This is for eastern LaSalle County. It's a continuation of the ongoing storm.
Yes, Chris, and with that one, a train spotter has reported a tornado. This was at 4:45 p.m.
Perfect.
So there has been an observed tornado with this storm.
Perfect timing there. Thank you very much, Lauren. So there's that rotation. It is now right along Highway 6, moving towards Interstate 80. Very strong rotation, green moving back towards south and red this way. So we're
Hey, Chris, with that storm, a storm chaser at 4:51 p.m., so 2 minutes ago, reported a large, almost wedge-like shaped tornado on the ground.
So this is a very dangerous situation in LaSalle County. Manillas, you need to be down in your shelters now. The storm is moving in your direction. It is going to begin to push out of our viewing area. So as the storm kind of inches right towards that LaSalle border, we will leave it. But keep in mind, if you have any friends or family in LaSalle County, this is a very dangerous situation. A large wedge-like tornado has now been reported on the ground just near Ottawa. So we could be looking at some damage in the Ottawa area as the storm begins to move towards Manillas. Let's take a look at correlation coefficient. Again, it's a bit of a high scan, so I cannot get a clear signal if we have confirmed debris there, but storm spotters are confirming that tornadoes have touched down with this storm numerous times.
Storm spotters are saying it's very large, very dangerous tornado. It's located near Ottawa and it's moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. If you're in this area, you really need to take cover right now due to this large wedge-shaped tornado. Spotters have actually confirmed a tornado. We have had sightings of this. So if you're in Manillas, you're in a very life-threatening situation right now.
And I have your timing for you here. Dayton, 4:56, Marseilles, 5 o'clock, Manillas, 5:04, and then it's going to begin to move out towards Morris at 5:20, and we're going to leave the storm before it gets that far. But again, if you are in eastern LaSalle County, east of Ottawa, we have confirmed damage, or at least a confirmed report of a very large and dangerous tornado on the ground right along Highway 6 is where we're seeing that rotation now popping up on radar. I'm going to jump over to the other storms downstream here. We need to keep an eye on these as well. We'll turn up the velocity here. It looks like that storm may have moved out, but it is out of Putnam County, but it is now moving into western LaSalle County, so some rotation seen on radar with this storm. It is not very strong. It's a little weaker than it was looking like, but we're still getting some here. So LaSalle, south of you, Tunica, where you guys already had a tornado touchdown earlier, this storm is moving back into your area, so we could see that tornado warning extended. These storms are training one another. So now we're dealing with a tornado threat, and we could be dealing with a flash flood threat, which would then become problematic seeking shelter. But we'll keep an eye on it. Another storm basically tracking right over where the last one already produced a tornado. It is heading in your direction. Here's another tornado warning that remains in effect. This one for southern Bureau County. You can kind of see that hook echo there. And I am going to go fire up that our scope so we can see the rotation within that storm. So here's what we have. The rotation appears to be, it's got a good healthy inflow, and that's when a storm is strengthening, that's what we need to see. So this storm could very well also be problematic as it tracks east into northern Putnam County and onward into LaSalle County. This tornado warning is in effect for southern Bureau County. Let me get the right warning popped up there for you until, there we go, 5:15 p.m. Bureau Junction, Indiantown, Snatcherman, and Tuscola is still involved in that warning until 5:15 p.m. Here's the storm that is going to be problematic for Princeville. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45 p.m. Chillicothe, Henry, Radnor, Toulon, and Princeville all included within this warning. Some very large hail possible with that storm. Let me get the exact size here from the National Weather Service. Moving east at 55 miles per hour, and half-dollar size hail with 60-mile-per-hour winds. And because we can, we'll check the velocity to see if we're getting any indications of rotation. Doesn't appear like there's a whole lot there, so that is a good sign, but certainly a large hail maker. And that hail, as identified by radar, is now just south and southeast of Princeville. And as I zoom in here, I will circle where we're getting that hail. So it is south, just immediately south of Princeville. That is where you're going to get your half-dollar size hail. I'll draw that circle for you right in there. That is where that hail is falling. All right, let's get back to our tornado warnings that remain in effect. First, for the Ottawa area, this one was in effect until 5:15. But that warning has now been extended to include eastern LaSalle County, and storm spotters have noted a very large and dangerous tornado on the ground south of I-80, and the storm was moving to the east pretty quickly at 45 miles per hour. Now, I do want to make this clear. The National Weather Service has made this a particularly dangerous situation warning. This is a PDS tornado warning. PDS tornado warnings are not something you mess with. So if you are, this is different from a normal tornado warning in that this is as bad as it gets. We are talking a very large wedge-like tornado possibly creating damage just south of Interstate 80 now in LaSalle County. So you need to be seeking shelter now if you are in LaSalle County as the storm moves east. And we will be letting that storm go here in the next 10 minutes as it begins to move out of LaSalle County. Keeping an eye on storms. LaSalle, we're getting another storm rotating in your area. We'll have to keep a very close eye on it because it too is showing signs of rotation. Yeah, that storm that we got highlighted right there, about 6 miles east of Hennepin, which is in Putnam County. We've had a report of hail half-dollar size. So okay. Half-dollar size hail with that storm we got highlighted there. So that's going to be for Putnam County. And so that was, yeah, that was about just about a minute ago that was reported. Cool. That probably looks like that probably came out of the storm that is just now moving into LaSalle County. Moving into LaSalle County. And I want to again identify any potential rotation, which there is immediately south of LaSalle. And again,